Hi, this is Alex Fernandez with Bud and Doug Walters Auto Sales here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Today I'll be doing a video going over some of the primary features on this 2018 Chevy Colorado work truck crew cab. We'll start by talking about the touchscreen and then the buttons right beneath it. We'll work our way down to the climate control and some of the switches down below, and then we'll move over here to the steering wheel, the stalks behind it, and then we'll talk about some switches and some buttons we have here on the left side. Coming back to the touchscreen, the page we're seeing right now is the home screen. You'll see we have a house button right here that would access the screen from any other function that we're using on the screen. For example, if we go to audio and press that home button, it brings us right back there. You'll notice we have seek buttons here down below. We can change the radio stations using those. We have volume and a mute button right in the middle, and then we have a shortcut button to our phone feature. We can actually go in here and we'll delete those previous devices. We'll begin with the audio section here. It opens whatever we are listening to, in this case FM radio. You'll see along the bottom of the screen we have our presets. There are multiple pages of those presets. You can mix and match AM, FM, and satellite stations all in that same row. To set a station as a preset, simply choose the station you'd like using either the seek buttons below, the seek buttons on the screen, or the tune keypad right here to jump right to it. Once you've picked your station, simply press and hold, wait for the beeps, and you'll see that station saved there as well. Our source button here allows us to change between AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth, and auxiliary. Those are our different available sources of audio. Being a work truck, this truck is not equipped with Sirius XM satellite radio capability. Our menu button here allows us to look at things like a station list, showing stations in the area, our tone settings for our bass, mid-range, and treble, as well as fade and balance. And then we also have some preset sound settings based on what type of audio you're listening to. We have auto volume, which will default to that when you start the vehicle, categories, different kinds of audio, and RDS, which is, if the station provides it, music information such as song and artist name for what is being played. Going back to that home page, we're going to skip over gallery. Basically, you have to connect a device with pictures on it, and then you are able to display the pictures on the screen of the vehicle as a wallpaper or a background. The phone section here is the next category. In this section here, we're able to pair up a compatible Bluetooth device for hands-free calling. You'll see here no paired devices are currently connected, and if we press search device and have our Bluetooth settings open on the compatible device, we'll be able to display that device on the screen here to select it to pair with the truck. Once that's done, it would sync up things like your contacts and your call history, so everything's available here inside the truck for you. Next section there is projection. This section here allows the use of Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And those are programs that run on the respective Android and iPhone smartphones that allow you to display your Maps apps such as Google or Apple Maps or Waze, play your music or podcasts, and also have your phone calls and your text messages come through. To use that feature, we have to plug into the USB port here into the device, and then for an Android, download the Android Auto app from the App Store, and an iPhone, simply just connect the device. We have our settings here. Those you'll see we can adjust time and date, language, radio settings, vehicle settings, toggle Apple CarPlay and Android Auto depending on which one we're going to use. And the last thing we have there is a camera display. And you'll see we can toggle that between simple guidelines, which do move when the wheels are turned, and we also have a trailer tow mode, which gives a center line for lining up your trailer. You can press exit to come back out of that. Looking down below with the climate control, we have our fan speed adjustment here. Whenever we change something, it will show up on the screen as we make that change. On the right side, we have the temperature control dial. Simply rotate that to the cold or the hot side, depending on what you're after. We have air conditioning on our recirculate mode here, and in the middle are 4 different vent locations. On the outside, we have our front defroster and our other recirculate mode, which is exterior air rather than recirculated air. Looking down below, we have our hazard lights here, the off switch for the traction control, which is on by default every time you start the truck, our bed lights, and our trailer tow mode just there. Looking behind the steering wheel on the right side, we have the windshield wipers. If we click that stalk down, that's a single swipe on the windshield. If we click up, that's intermittent, which we can then adjust using this here. And then we have low speed and then high speed. To do the spray for the front windshield, simply pull that stalk towards you and hold it for as long as you'd like the spray to continue. Looking at the left side, we have our blinkers here, as well as our brights, pull to flash and push away to turn on. We also have a button right on the end of the stalk here that's a set and clear button. We have a scroll wheel for up and down and a menu button. That controls this screen in the gauge cluster here. By pressing the menu button, we can cycle between the 3 different tabs, which are trip, vehicle, and eco. And if we use the arrows and that scroll wheel, we can then scroll through the different types of information that can be displayed within each one of those tabs. Within trip, we have digital speed, trip odometers 1 and 2, fuel range, average vehicle speed, and a timer. Then you have a blank page just to let you know you're at the bottom. If you ever want to reset anything, using the set and clear button on the end, hold that down until those values reset. If we press the menu button and go over to the vehicle tab, we have vehicle oil life, oil pressure, tire pressures, battery voltage, engine hours, transmission fluid temperature, and what units we're using. And the last one is eco, which shows us a fuel economy history for either the last 450 miles. If we press the check mark, we get the last 25 miles, and if we press it again, we get the last 50. And again, if you want to reset any of these values, simply push and hold that set or clear button down. Looking at the face of the steering wheel here on the left side, we have cruise controls. We have our on-off switch here. You'll see an icon show up in the tachometer. Once you're up to speed, press set to set the speed. Once your speed is set, if you want to speed up, push the plus sign. If you want to slow down, push the minus sign. And if you need to, you can tap cancel or tap your brakes, at which point then you could resume your previous speed. Looking down below on the left side here, we have our 4-wheel drive controls. We have control of 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, and 4-wheel low. To switch into 4-wheel high, you're able to do that on the fly, but you have to be going typically less than 55 miles an hour to do so. And then 4-wheel low, to switch into that, you have to be at a complete stop and put the truck in neutral, at which point you would not drive that around on dry roads or anything like that. That would simply be used on snow, mud, sand, anything like that that's adverse terrain. To the left of that, we have our headlight controls. The headlights are automatic, and you'll see a message there showing whether those are auto or not. You can manually control your parking lights or your low beams as well by rotating to the respective positions. This dial here allows us to adjust the brightness of the backlighting for the gauges and everything once the headlights have come on, in case it was too bright or too dim for you. And then looking at the door here, it's a little bit bright, but we have our child locks here, our window locks here, and then our window switches, and then our mirror adjustments, choosing which mirror to adjust and using the control pad to do so. Door locks are just in front of the door handle there. And up above, we have dome lights. We can turn that dome light on. We can have it set to the door setting, so when we open our doors, that will come on. We can also have it set to the off position, so you can have the doors open and those dome lights will not come on. Those are the primary features of this 2018 Chevy Colorado work truck. If you have any further questions, please refer to us at waltersautos.com or feel free to call 269-375-7008 with any further questions or to set up an appointment. Thank you.